Hello and good evening. Public confidence in the Metropolitan Police could be seriously harmed after the announcement by the Home Secretary that there's to be a public inquiry into the work of undercover officers. That was the view of the Mayor this afternoon after evidence of police corruption in the Stephen Lawrence murder case came to light in a damning review of Scotland Yard's handling of the case. In a moment, we'll hear from the police and from Stephen Lawrence's brother. But first, here's our political correspondent, Carl Mercer.
For more than 20 years, the Lawrence family have battled on. In the early days, flowers were left at the spot where their son was murdered. The message on the card reads, "Justice will be done." Today was another example of why they feel it still hasn't been. A public inquiry announced into undercover policing and alleged corruption at the Met.
People will lose faith if they try to do undercover and discredit a family who lost their child.
I still have faith for the police, and I think they're doing a good job.
They tried to hide a lot of things, didn't they, the Met? So I don't know what's going on there either.
The Home Secretary hopes the judge-led inquiry she's set up will find out exactly what has been going on.
In policing, as in other areas, the problems of the past have a danger of infecting the present and can lay traps for the future. Policing stands damaged today. Trust and confidence in the Metropolitan Police and policing more generally is vital.
That trust has taken a few knocks over the past year or so. The Plebgate row that saw an officer jailed.
I have told the truth about these incidents. The police did not.
Then there were revelations about undercover officers having relationships with protesters and concerns over inaccurate crime figures.
Almost every day that you open the newspapers, there is another story about the Metropolitan Police.
The Met's Commissioner, Bernard Hogan-Howe, has recognised his force's reputation has taken a hit. This was him last September.
I want Londoners to love, respect and be proud of their Met.
That task will be made harder by today's report. The public inquiry that follows will be equally difficult.
The independent Ellison review has some really serious and damaging findings, and we need to move quickly to a public inquiry. We need time to digest the report, but I think essential is that the Met comes to terms with the past, but also importantly that we secure the future and ensure that there's a proper oversight of undercover police officers.
That will be the bare minimum expected of the new inquiry if the Met's reputation is to be restored. Carl Mercer, BBC London News.
Well, a little earlier I spoke to the Deputy Commissioner Craig Mackey from the Metropolitan Police and he gave his reaction to today's findings.
Like everyone, we were saddened by what we heard today and can understand the impact this has had on the people of London. At our heart of what we do is keeping the trust and confidence of the 8.4 million people of London who we serve. And my thoughts, as both a personal level and as a professional, were absolutely with the Lawrence family and Dwayne Brooks.
You mentioned there that, of course, it's important for Londoners to have, trust and respect for the police. The Mayor of London has echoed those words today. How do you plan on reassuring Londoners today?
Well, I think a number of things. In terms of the two reports published, in the report that we've published this afternoon, the Operation Hearn investigation, which is run by Chief Constable Mick Creedon from Derbyshire, we have been very open and transparent in terms of what we've been doing, the scale of this investigation, and the fact that this is looking at 40 years' worth of activity.
It's quite shocking, though, isn't it, that some of these sort of lapses of judgment, if you like, are fairly recent. Key evidence in the investigation into police corruption was the subject of mass shredding in 2003. And also a hard drive containing relevant data took a year to find, and it was only found in 2013.
Well, in relation to the shredding, clearly that's one of the issues that we'll look at. Like everyone, we only got that report today. So there are a number of things we will need to do to look at issues that are raised in that. But actually finding data information over a 40-year history is a challenge for any organisation.
So what's your message to the Lawrence family tonight?
Well, clearly in terms of personal messages, I'm not going to do it over the television. There'll be opportunities to speak to the Lawrences in the days and weeks ahead. But my message to Londoners is we are absolutely open and transparent in finding out what took place, what went on, what we can learn from it, and putting in context what we've done since.
Deputy Commissioner Craig Mackey there. Well, listening to that and joining me now is Stephen Lawrence's brother Stuart and the solicitor for Doreen Lawrence, Imran Khan. Good evening to you both. We heard the Deputy Commissioner saying there that he'll speak to your family in the days and weeks to come. What do you hope to hear from the Met? Is there anything that they could say to make today's findings more palatable?
No, to me personally, no, I don't think so. I've tried to keep an open mind as much as possible, and my whole family has, and this is just another reason why we can't trust the police, we can't have any faith in the police. We've been here before in a number of investigations and other inquiries to find out what's happened, and back then we didn't get to the truth, so we've got a bit more of the truth today, which is really great, but how much more is there to come out? How much more things are they trying to hide from us? That's the feeling I get.
We heard the Commissioner saying there that the only way is to have trust and integrity in the police, is to be open and honest and transparent about the past. Do you feel that they are doing that in some way now?
But what's taken so long? Why have we waited till now to be telling the truth? I thought through the Macpherson inquiry that they were going to tell the truth then, and that we could find some closure and be able to move on. And we celebrated the 15 years of the Macpherson report last week, and this week now we're here again, hearing more revelation to find out more different things that have happened during the case.
Imran Khan, can I ask you, what do you make of this judge-led public inquiry announced today?
I think it's the only thing that's going to provide some sort of closure, as Stuart is saying. We hope that this time the police are going to keep to their promises to cooperate and provide all that they can. But as Stuart has said, how can we have trust in that? And one of the reasons the Home Secretary is ordering that is a judge-led inquiry will be able to, we hope, produce all the documents that are necessary to have a transparent process and cover as much of the history as we can. What we don't want to be left with is another 2 or 3 years of the family fighting for justice and then finding out actually there were still things, more skeletons in the closet. We simply can't have that.
Stuart, you were very young at the time,
yeah,
16 I believe.
Yeah.
You and your friends now, do you feel that the relationship with the police has moved on in a positive way at all?
Again, yes and no. I tried to be as positive about the police as possible because I'm a citizen in London who's going about a daily basis, and I want to be able to call on the police if in need of the police. So I can see their point why they need to be there, but if certain members of the police force are going to use their powers for their own personal issues or vendettas or gripes, then no, I can't go ahead and say to other people, yeah, do you know what, trust the police, they're going to do a good job, because at the moment we don't have much evidence towards my family about that positive outlook of the police.
Imran, you've been with the family throughout this, and one of the shocking findings is that the family were effectively spied on by the Met during the investigation. What, if anything, did you sort of, one removed, suspect at the time?
We had some suspicions that perhaps because the family was so vocal and the police so bad in their approach to the family, that they would try and do things which might damage the family. I don't think any of us had any idea that there were police officers amongst those meetings, those campaign meetings, and they were spying. That was beyond belief. And so those revelations, I think, are the most shocking revelations because it's a real invasion of privacy. I can understand if you're a politician or involved in some nefarious activity, but this is a grieving family. Why do they need a police officer looking into their lives?
Stuart, this has been going on for you and your family, in your 21 years of your life. Do you feel like you'll ever get closure?
I would like to have closure. I've got a young family myself. I'd like to be able to put this chapter of my life to one side and to be able to move on to a new chapter, to look forward to try and enjoy life and to try and show my son that London was a way 21 years ago, but now it's changed. We're making steps forward to a better London. That's what I'd like to be able to do.
Okay, well, to you both, thank you very much indeed for coming in today. We appreciate it. Thank you. Plenty more ahead tonight, including...
Coming up, we're live on the Thames Barrier.